Transforming your life through hypnotherapy has never been easier. With the help of your host, Julie from coachinghypnosis.net, and these power-packed minisodes, you're sure to find yourself engaging in more positive behaviors around both your physical and mental health. Here's your host, Julie.
G'day, it's Julie from coachinghypnosis.net, and you deserve to know the one low self-esteem hypnosis tip for 2022. Because people are sick and tired of being a brainy bigwig and being unable to leave the house, take a selfie, wear a swimsuit at the same time. And I'm not a therapist or a psychotherapist, but this is my 9th year as a clinical hypnotherapist in strategic psychotherapy. I currently help my clients online. They change their life without changing out of their pajamas, and you deserve to know the truth about what can be achieved with low self-esteem and hypnosis. And it reminds me of Michael Yapko's book, titled Process-Oriented Hypnosis. He describes his client Charlotte, a 17-year-old girl, who's an enigma not only to herself, but to her friends. Charlotte was waiting on her university acceptance, and she sounded as though all things were well. Michael was trying to figure out why she was in his office, but then her eye contact disappeared, her tone became hushed, and then she showed him the cuts on her arms. Charlotte looked at Michael, waiting for his reaction, but she seemed relieved that he didn't have one. He had seen self-harm too many times to be shocked. Finally, Michael asked, "What's that about?" And as she attempted to come up with a sensible reply, she responded with, "I don't know, I just do it. I just get a weird urge to cut myself. And when I do, the urge goes away." And in the back of Michael's mind, he was thinking, is this a cry for attention? Was she depressed? So Michael asked her some questions about her internal experience, like, how do you know when you're stressed? How far ahead of time do you know it's building? How do you know you're going to cut yourself? How do you decide where you're going to cut yourself? How deep is a cut? How do you know if the cut's going to scar? How do you explain the cuts and scars to your friends and parents and doctor? And as bright as Charlotte was, she had never thought about any of those things before. Charlotte's feelings and processes were so tangled together that she couldn't break them down into a process of self-regulation. After spending time with Michael Yapko and a few hypnotherapy sessions later, life worked out well for Charlotte. She found a way to manage her build-up of stress skillfully. And it reminds me of the case of Larry, one of Dr. Joe Dispenza's clients. Larry had suffered a debilitating depressive episode from his adolescence to his late 20s, and this surprised Dr. Joe Dispenza because Larry was always upbeat, compassionate, spontaneous kind of guy. He seemed like the last person in the world to have a history of depression. But the truth is, like many functionally depressed people, he was a good actor. During the weekend, Larry purposely avoided most human contact because it was a reminder that he felt he lacked the meaningful and emotional, intimate relationships in his life. So he became a member of what he called Dawn Patrol. He would wake up on the weekend before 6 a.m. to do his weekly shopping because he'll be in tears as he walked down the grocery aisles, haunted by memories of him and his partner shopping together. And then after his failed marriage, he went into a tailspin, ultimately not showing up for work and lying in bed. Once Larry realized he was acting this way, because not of some bad upbringing, but maybe it was an imbalance, he felt relieved. But Larry also understood he had to change some of his habitual actions. One of the first things Larry did in his quest for change was to force himself to go out shopping in the middle of the day on Saturday. Larry also practiced being happy on the weekends until he noticed he could leave his apartment anytime he wanted. In addition to taking up karate, eventually Larry even started to date Rebecca, a brown belt in his karate class. Her presence provided a whole new set of emotional experiences that he loved and enjoyed. And if you want to read more about Larry, you can. Read Evolve Your Brain by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And it reminds me of the positive psychology movement when the Department of Veteran Affairs Psychiatric Rehabilitation Program chose to focus on strengths. The Strength Survey was part of an initiative to integrate positive psychology with psychiatric rehabilitation. And you can check out your strengths at viacharacter.org. There are a list of 24 character strengths, which were identified through extensive examination of major philosophical and religious works, such as Plato's Republic, the Tao Te Ching, the Old Testament, the writings of Benjamin Franklin and Boy Scouts America and Harry Potter books, and these 24 character strengths were organized into 6 virtues: wisdom and knowledge, courage, humanity, justice, temperance, and transcendence. And the Strength Survey is an online assessment. It's been subjected to rigorous psychometric study, and after months of making the Strength Survey available to veterans attending the Psychiatric Rehabilitation Centre, the survey had both short-term and long-term benefits. Some veterans reported a sense of accomplishment and mastery. Most reported their mood improved after receiving their results. They thought more positively about themselves. One veteran who identified a love of learning as one of his signature strengths found that taking the Strength Survey encouraged him through his plans to attend a professional school. And when he began to doubt himself, he reminded himself that the computer told him that he had the strength to pursue his dream. And a few have reported that they keep their lists of strengths next to their beds or on their refrigerator. But here is the one low self-esteem hypnosis tip for 2022, the if I could, I would technique. Because maybe when you listened to this today, you had a dream in mind, something you want to make happen in your life. And you don't know what it is just yet, but if I would, I could has an ending now. And that the words that go through your mind many times a day comfortably now is, I can. The fact is, what you did in the past was the best you could do at the time. And the truth is, it really was the very best effort you were able to make. The only reason you know this now is because you're better now, aren't you? And it might take your subconscious mind a little time for you to believe it before you notice, a little courage, poise, or something else. And the reason why you're better now is because you see yesterday through today's eye. Remember, I would if I could. I would is a dream, and a very good dream, where if I could is the search for a plan or a way to make it happen for yourself. But I can is the harmony of all the feelings and thought that can make your life happen on purpose, successfully. And as the wise man, Thomas the Tank Engine, once said, I think I can. I know I can. So what if you thought about low self-esteem hypnosis differently? But what if you didn't? The choice is yours.